What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, according to MATCHROOM CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn states that former Olympic bronze medalist, former WBC American heavyweight world champion superstar boxer Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder is no longer a roadblock, and that they have narrowed down 2 locations for the massive United Kingdom, UK, undisputed heavyweight showdown between undefeated 2-time heavyweight British superstar world champion boxer Tyson the Gypsy King Fury and 2-time unified heavyweight world champion British superstar boxer Anthony Joshua. Well, Anthony Joshua, he is a Matchroom fighter. He signed to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. So obviously Eddie Hearn has a vested interest there. Now Eddie Hearn also, he wants to deliver the biggest showdown in UK history between undisputed, to have two heavyweight champions for undisputed, which the last time that took place is over 100 years ago, to have a pure all British heavyweight showdown for undisputed. Okay. That was over 100 years ago. Now we know Lennox Lewis, iconic, legendary heavyweight world champion, former undisputed world champion. He represented the UK, United Kingdom, but he also represented Jamaica, and he also represented Canada. So a lot of UK fans, they don't even consider Lennox Lewis to be, a true United Kingdom British heavyweight. Okay, so now that took place when he defeated Evander Holyfield for undisputed. Okay, now that was quite a bit of time ago in itself. So Lennox Lewis, was the last person to represent the United Kingdom for undisputed. Okay, and that was quite some years ago when he defeated Evander Holyfield. Okay, that was back in 1999. So that was 22 years ago. And then you tack on the 100 years prior to him becoming undisputed. So you're talking about over 120 years since they had an undisputed heavyweight world champion. Okay. So now, Tyson Fury, who is Queensberry Promotions with Frank Warren, CEO and promoter Frank Warren, and also with top rank legendary promoter Bob Arum, they are co-promoters and they represent Tyson Fury. Okay. Tyson Fury, he defeated Deontay Wilder February of 2020, but he's contractually obligated to give Deontay Wilder a trilogy match. Well, now Eddie Hearn is saying that Deontay Wilder took Tyson Fury to mediation and arbitration, and we're set to get a ruling in May. Well, Eddie Hearn is stating that you're going to get a concrete announcement next week. The problem with this is they've been telling us this for the better part of 11 months. June 10th of 2020 is when Tyson Fury announced that they agreed to a 2-fight deal. 3 months ago, Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, they've been telling you in 2 weeks or so, you're going to get an announcement to where the fight is going to take place and, a concrete, announcement. So now Eddie Hearn, once again, is telling the fans that you're going to get a concrete announcement coming up next week, guaranteed for sure. He's saying that, they have narrowed it down to 2 places where they believe that this fight is going to take place. And he's 100% certain that they're going to announce the fight by next week. OK, this has been an ongoing saga for quite some time. And then you have Big John Fury, Tyson Fury's father. He says that, there's a lot of chatter going back and forth. There's a lot of talk, but there's not a lot of movement. So he just stated this last week that there's no movement, there's nothing going on, and he says he challenged Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua to actually make the fight come to fruition. Eddie Hearn is saying now, there's a lot of conflicting reports. Okay, Bob Arum 3 weeks ago told everybody that yes, both sides have signed all the contracts, and an announcement was coming in 2 weeks. That was 3 weeks ago. Now here we are. 3 weeks later from that date, Eddie Hearn is stating that now they're going to have an announcement concrete next week. So he's guaranteeing that there will be an official announcement next week for Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua for Undisputed with a few locations. Okay, he has Saudi Arabia as one of the places, and he's stating that it's going to be an official announcement in the next week, coming in the next week. So once again, Eddie Hearn, who told the world he's tired of telling the fans in 2 weeks. Once again, we're on Monday, and Eddie Hearn is telling you 2 weeks later, because next week is 2 weeks. So he's not including this week. So he's saying by the end of next week. So 2 more weeks. Okay? He continues to tell the fans every time he announces something, he tells the fans in 2 weeks. So now Monday, he's telling you again, in 2 weeks, you'll have an announcement, and that Deontay Wilder is not a roadblock. He's officially out the way. So officially, Eddie Hearn is saying that Deontay Wilder is not playing a part in blocking this fight. As we know that not to be true, because we know Bob Arum, he stated that in May, they'll get an official ruling to what's going to take place with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, as to what's going to take place. Because Bob Arum, he stated that the judge can ultimately state that Deontay Wilder is owed big money for damages. So that means, if that's the case, then that means that Tyson Fury was in the wrong, and essentially he breached his contract, allegedly, with Deontay Wilder, because we know that they have a trilogy match signed, sealed, and should be delivered, okay? And Tyson Fury, he doesn't want to run the risk, nor does Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, or Bob Arum. They don't want to run the risk, although they're speaking as if they're confident that Tyson Fury would just go right in the ring and defeat Deontay Wilder in a trilogy match. They are 1,000% confident that that's going to take place, yet they don't want to run the risk of putting Tyson Fury in the ring with Deontay Wilder, because they know that Deontay Wilder, at the very least, has a puncher's chance, okay? So all of this time that this has been dragging on, as Tyson Fury stated, I could have already fought Deontay Wilder in the trilogy match, right? And yet, the time is still ticking, and we heard Frank Warren and we heard Tyson Fury. They said physically and mentally it's not good for Tyson Fury to sit on the shelf, and that they wanted to proceed forward with making this fight, any fight come to fruition, whether it be Anthony Joshua, whether it be Deontay Wilder, or somebody else, right? They even scheduled a date for December 5th where they were supposed to have a showdown, and that didn't come to fruition, okay? And all of this time, remember, Bob Arum, he said that the date was December 14th for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury trilogy match, but they asked for an extension due to the fact that we're dealing with a global pandemic and their fans wasn't allowed in attendance. And then you even had Tyson Fury and Frank Warren. They stated that they didn't want to lose the money that they earned, in this rematch where they broke the live gates for heavyweights. So they didn't want to run the risk of losing that money. So they wanted to push things back, and try to secure the proper venue and things to have fans in attendance to be able to gain that revenue. Okay. Then they said that Deontay Wilder, he didn't properly inform them that he wanted the trilogy match. So they were moving on because he missed the deadline. So now, Tyson Fury, he stated at that point in time he wanted to stay active. Bob Arum asked for an extension, stated that, we should have the fight staged in January, February, maybe at the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium in Las Vegas. And Frank Warren said, absolutely not. That's not an option because Tyson Fury cannot wait that long. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Tyson Fury has been waiting even longer because now we are in April, okay? We are in April, and Tyson Fury has not fought since February of 2020, since Deontay Wilder fought. They've both been inactive the same amount of time, okay? Then Tyson Fury, he told you guys that if a deal wasn't done for Anthony Joshua for June, then he would be moving on from the Anthony Joshua saga. And here we have it where Eddie Hearn is stating that they need an extension, and they're moving it back to July. Eddie Hearn, just last week, he told the boxing fans that they're already, at that time, we're 18 days in. That was about 4 days ago. So they're about 22 days in of a deadline that they said they had 28 days to get an agreement of a venue and a location and investment group. And yet Eddie Hearn stated then that they were going to ask for an extension on that time frame. And now he's saying that they're guaranteed to announce it next week. Okay? And now Deontay Wilder doesn't play a major part. Well, we're going to see how this unfolds. Now, Eddie Hearn is guaranteeing next week they'll have a concrete announcement for Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. So let's see how this unfolds. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Oh, it is your boy Jada Kiss. Make sure you check out Blue Blood Sports TV. It's going down.